In this turbulent, fast-changing, uncertain world we live in, there are 5 key forces causing disruptive change. This is the middle of a series in which we look at these tides of change. We've already looked at technology. Let's pick up the next 2. Institutional change is the I. Now, institutional change refers to the rules for success and failure in your industry, in your profession, the institutions that you are part of. I don't know of any institution in the world that isn't undergoing deep structural change right now. By structural change, I mean rules for success and failure. Those may be regulatory rules. Some of you are in industries that know a lot about regulatory change. Hello, all the bankers. But it's more than just the regulations. It's also got to do with our orthodoxies. What I mean by that is it's our norms, our self-imposed rules, the way things are done around here. We don't have to do it that way, although that's how we feel it has to be done. And then some snot-nosed kid, 22 years old, comes into your industry and changes everything. You know, possibly the scariest thing anybody can say to you today is Apple has just entered your market. Or Google or any one of those, because they come in and they change the rules and they've got the money to mess around with it as well. That's what institutional change is. Right now, there has never been a time in history, certainly not in our lifetimes, when the rules are so open for change, when somebody can come into your industry and turn it on its head on a dime, where they can come in and change the rules for success and failure. What rules for success and failure are not really rules at all? How can you ambush yourself? How can you cannibalize yourself, to go even further with that analogy? This is what institutional change has to bring to our thinking as we think about how we can come in and disrupt our own industries. So institutional change is our second disruptor. The D in our tides of change stands for demographics. We often ignore demographics. It's the stuff we record when we do a census every 10 years. It seems to be slow moving, and yet it's not. Right now, you are living 1 day longer every week you are alive. Did you know that? You are going to live way longer than you thought you were. More than half of all the people who have ever turned 80 are still alive. 165 million people older than 80, and that's half of anybody who's ever reached that age. What are you thinking about when you think about old age? What are you thinking about when you think about retirement? Demographics is changing all around the world with an aging population, with migration, people moving a lot more than they used to. Most major cities in the world are growing at hundreds of people per day as we develop and grow. And the economic and demographic growth in the world is all coming from the third world, from the emerging markets. All of these issues, combined with generational differences, combined with changes in gender relationships, all of these things are combining to change the shape of the world. There is so much that could be said about demographics, but my question to you is simple. What demographics are you relying on in your industry? Are your clients all of a certain age or all of a certain life stage? And that's how it's always been, and that's how you think it's always going to be. Not so. There are disruptive changes coming in demographics over the next few years, and you need to be ready, because if you're not ready, it will be a threat. It will undermine you. If you are ready, take the opportunity, get a jump on your competition, and demographics can be your destiny. So 5 forces, tides of change: technology, institutional change, demographics. We've got 2 more to go. Stick with us in this Tides series.